You're sexy, so good to me.
Hey, this is Sir Charles Carey. I want you to join me on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. for the TRU-MU podcast, True Music. That's where we talk about all things.
I'm a musician, singer, songwriter, producer, engineer.
All things creative.
Me and my co-host, Carl T. Smith, the smooth one, will be glad to hear you, glad to talk to you, answer your questions, and talk all things music. The TRU-MU podcast, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Be part of the energy.
I can see that thing that makes men stop, stand still, all in denial, suffer loss of will.
Hey, it's Tuesday, it's 7 o'clock, so you know what that means. It's time for the TRU-MU podcast, True Music podcast, where you hear me, Sir Charles Carey, and the smooth one, talking to you about all things music, all things creative, because that's what it's all about. They say music soothes savage beasts, and we want to try to soothe you at least for a little while.
A little while.
How you doing today, man?
I'm good. And you?
Grateful, man. Always grateful. Yes, indeed. The purpose of the podcast, folks, is to talk about music from every aspect, whether it's hip hop, R&B, classical, my favorite. Jazz.
Classical? Really? Okay. Yeah, I like that.
But all things creative, honestly. And today we've got a special guest, and we're going to learn a little bit about him in a short spell. Any comments you have, please feel free to ask your comments or post your comments. If you're watching in a replay, just put hashtag replay and still make your comments or ask your questions. And feel free to share by all means, because we like to bring others into the fold. It helps us get the algorithms going and get the word out about what we're doing and how we're doing it. So without further ado, we're going to bring our guest up, because the little bit that I've heard, he seems like a very intriguing person, and I like to know more. And I'm sure you like to know more too, especially if you've seen the preview of who he is. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. George O'Neill. Ralph, is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Grateful, man. Always grateful. How about yourself?
All right. How you doing, Carl?
I'm good, and you?
Oh, you
all
know
right,
this
all
guy?
right.
You know this guy, huh?
Oh, yeah. For many moons.
That's all
We
right.
go way back.
I'm not that old. Okay.
Uh-huh.
He's 21, but
21.
Yeah. All right.
Look, so if he's 21, that means you and I must have put some gray coloring in our facial hair.
Yes, that's what we did. And that's the new look.
No
You saw
doubt.
the gray men. You saw the gray men out there with the suits and all that. That's the way to go.
Yes, sir. So look, George, we're going to take it back and bring it all the way up to the current days. You're obviously a creative, and what got your juices going, when you was a little boy or a young man? What was it about creativity that got you excited or started you in your journey? Or how did that work when you were younger?
Oh, boy. It's a long story. Try to make it short. But my family is in the entertainment field. My father and his brothers and sisters used to play music. They had a little band in Waterbury, Connecticut. And I got turned on to music from my uncle, who played keyboards or piano, grand piano in the church.
Okay.
And one day, my father was a military man, but one day I was rummaging through his things and I found his trumpet. And that was actually the gateway to me actually getting into music. I think I was about 13 years old.
So you play trumpet? Horn,
No, I don't play. I tried. My little lips couldn't fit around that little mouthpiece. But,
You said a little lips?
that's why you can't have Carl as a friend. He knows too much. So when I was 16, a bunch of my friends got together. We thought that we was the Temptations, and we put a little singing group together. And we went out and started doing talent shows and things of that nature. And we built up a small little reputation in the community. And I got into more of the producing aspect of it, which was putting on the show as well as performing in the shows.
How old were you at that time?
That was 16.
You're promoting at 16? You started that?
I did my first show when I was 16.
Nice.
It was a talent show. It had 15 acts, 4 bands, a lot of small little acts that either thought they were the Supremes or Blue Magic.
Right.
They thought the bands thought they were Earth, Wind and Fire or Shaka Khan's band. You know, and it was a pretty big show. Pretty much very overwhelming for me at that age. My closest friends will tell you stories about that night.
Okay.
But from there, many years later, I taught my kids how to play music for the little bit amount of music that I knew, and took them on tour. And then I ran into Carl.
So,
and
question.
Yeah.
Do you also play an instrument?
I tinker. I can't say that I'm a full musician. I couldn't get out there and play with the band, but I know how to get around on the keyboard.
Okay.
And with today's technology, it doesn't really take that much.
Right.
As I got back into it, back in the day, I really had to learn how to teach my kids how to get around either playing the keyboards or the drums. And that's, like I said, that's when I met Carl, because Carl worked in a music store at that time. I guess you came right off of New Edition, and he was a music teacher there, and he taught my son how to play the drums.
Okay.
And
so you're telling me things about Carl that I didn't even know. Can he play the drums? Carl can play the drums? Let me find out.
Carl is a master musician.
Okay.
You know, a couple of years.
Everybody trying to borrow money. You know what I'm saying? Everybody trying to get a little cash. I don't even understand.
So a few years later, the kids were a little older, and they had performed for a few years. They were the featured young act at all the Harlem Week shows. Back in the day, Harlem Week used to be a massive entertainment venue, massive. Yes, and the organizers just loved my kids.
Let me ask you this. You can pick back up. When you first got turned on to music, I know you said you was rummaging through your dad's stuff. You found his horn, couldn't hit the mouthpiece right, blah, blah, blah. I got that. But who was inspiring you in those days? Like, what recording artist or band or singer really got your musical juices flowing in those days?
Well, in those days, it was Blue Magic, the Stylistics, the Temptations, and that's really where it really started. Nice. Until and I skipped a whole couple of years. I managed a band called the Funk Masters out of the Bronx.
Okay.
And I managed them for 2 years before I went to college. And when I came back, I promoted parties in Manhattan at Bentley's. I don't know if you know Bentley's.
Yeah, no doubt.
I did a lot of shows at Bentley's. I put Full Force in concert before they got signed to a recording deal with Columbia. And that was at one of the biggest nightclubs called Bonds International Casino.
Bonds.
Mm-hmm. Bonds was bigger than Studio 54. but owned by the same people. So when Studio 54 went down, so did Bonds.
Okay.
Um, so and so that's my whole, musical career
Right.
part of it, and then going back to when I started teaching the kids how to play music, it just got more and more intense because I had to write the music for them and then I had to teach them how to play it.
So now, when you say the kids, are you talking about your children or other kids that you were working with?
Okay, they were two of them were my kids. They were the nucleus of the band, Michael and Tawanda, the drums and keyboard. My daughter played keyboard bass. We called her Funky T. And then I saw that there were a lot of parents out there that had kids that were very talented but didn't have an outlet for them. So I would gather other kids that were the same age, put this little group together, model them behind Mint Condition, and then taught them how to play the music, wrote for them, put it out there, and came very close to getting a recording deal with Puffy. But
What was the name of the group?
Starfire.
Mm.
Starfire, and then we changed the name to Triple Dose. As they got a little older, we changed the name to Triple Dose. And again, I think by the time they had already put 10 years by the time the group had broke up.
So they were in the tri-state area?
I'm sorry?
They performed in the tri-state?
Yeah, in the tri-state area. We did a few shows
in Connecticut. You was
in Connecticut, Washington, D.C. Again, traveling with the Black Expo. They did several shows with the Black Expo. Everybody loved the kids because nobody was doing it the way that I was doing it. At least Joe Jackson was the only other person. Everybody used to say, "Hey, you just like Joe Jackson," except I didn't beat my kids. But I did instill in them that they need to follow through with whatever they start. Right. And that carried on to adulthood. I even get calls from some of the members of the group, praising the fact that when we were kids that we were so focused on the music thing and it taught us so much in music. I get calls like that all the time. We was up to 13 kids at one point in the band. That includes musicians, background vocalists, cousins. It was a pretty big deal and cost a lot of money for very little in return, except for the prestige of, doing it all.
So I'm just kind of curious. You was talking about a group that you managed in the Bronx. Was the Funk Masters?
Yeah, the Funk Masters.
And were they near University Avenue? Where were they at?
No, University. I think you might. I managed a second band called Jamila.
Oh,
Jamila. Yeah, that's the band Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat and I used to hang out real tough. Okay. I managed that band after the Funk Masters, and they were a young band also. I don't think they were more than, they might have been in their late teens, early 20s. At that time, and they were awesome, and they played every Friday night at a club called Harlem Nights.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Was
it on Broadway or was it on Lenox?
Lenox. It was down on Lenox and 116th Street, I believe.
Yeah, right on the corner. Right.
Yeah, it was big, nice spot. Okay. So I got with them because I also did special effects, smoke bombs, flash boxes, fog.
Why you laughing, Carl?
Because he remembers all that.
Special effects for real.
When I got with Jamila, that's what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to
Make
bring
sure he
in all
don't do
that.
it now. Make sure he doesn't do it right now. All right. No special effects right now.
I was blowing up the stage at
He was
that point.
blowing, for real.
Okay,
Blowing it up.
Because you
Black
you
Button,
watch,
your magic show, huh?
yeah, you watch all your idols, like Parliament Funkadelic, Earth, Wind and Fire back in the day when they had the big shows. I wanted to do it on my level. My level was, the little bands, the local bands, but with a little bit of knowledge, you can make all that little stuff look so real, so big.
So true. I
So
remember doing the show once, and I think it was at I don't know if it was a competition or a showcase, whatever it was I was doing. And this is when Cameo was big with Candy, and these guys came out. There was three of them, and they was doing the song, and they had these long coats on, and they was doing their moves in synchronicity, and they turned around and said, "Tastes like candy," and they threw the candy in the audience. Everybody went crazy. All they did was spin and throw candy in the audience, but it was smart. It was clever.
Right.
I know.
See now, what I would have did with those special effects when they turned around and did Candy, I would have set off about 5 flash boxes, smoked up the whole stage, engulfed the stage with fog. It would have been a spectacle.
Right. No,
and nothing's changed today. Nothing's changed with him today. It's the same thing. Oh my goodness.
Hopefully you never had any lawsuits.
I was saying
they're still looking for him.
I said, hopefully you never had any lawsuits, but he's saying that they're pending.
They're still looking for him.
Yeah, so now we move up to present day. I think there might have been about maybe 15 years had gone by, and I got into some other businesses, and I did a career in law enforcement, and yeah. And then
what was the other business?
Corrections, state correction.
The other business.
Oh, the business. I did glass art, which is
I don't have
yeah, I did something for Carl. It's sandblasting 3-dimensional images in glass.
Nice.
And I did that for 10 years. And then
do you have one near you?
I always got something somewhere around. No, not really.
Okay.
It would be hard to see anyway, because unless it's accented with lights, it would be really hard to see through the phone. But yeah, I did that, and I did awards for a lot of top celebrities, people in the government. Al Sharpton comes to mind. Yeah, I did a lot of awards. 100 Black Women. They worked with me for almost 5 years.
Nice.
I went on tour with some of the big black art shows. Black art was big in the early 80s, early 90s. Black art was all over the country. And then the economy went down. So, the first thing people are going to say, I can't afford this. I got a car note to pay, So the whole industry, the black art industry, kind of died all at once. In one year, it went under. But it was good while it lasted.
Oh, for sure. Folks, if you're just joining us, this is the TRU-MU podcast, True Music Podcast, where we talk about all things music and all things creative. And today's guest is George O'Neill Ralph, and he's sharing with us some really interesting tidbits on his life and how the creative world has really, enhanced and experienced him in so many different diverse ways. So if you have any comments, any questions, please post them in the feed. We love to get your comments. We love to respond back to you. I know there are a few of you watching, so feel free to drop a line here and there. And thanks for joining us in the meantime. So let me ask you this. I don't know, how did you get into, I've got a lot of questions for you, George. So hopefully you're ready, man. You got your seat buckled on.
Sure.
Besides the music and, when you're talking about the art, what inspired you to go in that direction? Or how did you, catch wind of such a thing?
Well, my mother always told me, even before I got into music, I guess I was maybe 9, 10, I started drawing. She didn't mention this to me until I was well into my 30s, that, she always saw me as a very creative person. And I thought that after the kids had grown up, I'm trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do next? And I said, okay, well, let me try a little bit of art. And I researched through a magazine called Enterprise, Entrepreneur. And I'm looking through there, and I come up with this this tool that can engrave into glass. And I researched it some more, and I found a master glass engraver in South Bronx. And I went to him, and he showed me his work. And he had a 10-foot mermaid carved in glass. And I said, this is what I want to do. I asked him, I said, can you teach me how to do this? And he said, no, I'm not going to teach you, because in 5 years, you're going to be my competition.
Oh, wow. 5
years later, we bid it on the same thing for the same account for a restaurant in Largemount, New York. And I won.
Oh, man.
So he was spot on.
Would you talk to him at, once you landed the account?
No, we never spoke after that. I think but at that point he had turned the business over to his son.
Okay.
And he had moved on. But I was able to recruit 1 or 2 guys from his outfit to work with me for about 6 months.
Okay.
So that was fun. I always like telling that story, that, we bid it on the same.
You bid it on the same. Go ahead. You bid it on the same.
We bid it on the same account, and I won. So I really like.
So therefore, I'm not gonna let you do any music around me.
I know people like
that ship has sailed already.
Really?
Yeah, Carl and I. Whenever I need any counseling, I call Carl. First person, right off the bat, call Carl. Carl, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Even to this day, I think even yesterday, I called him because I'm working on something new.
Okay. But before we get to that, you've got a famous last name. Is there any resemblance or any connection with the celebrity that we know, Miss Ralph? Is there any connection with you and her?
Cheryl Lee Ralph. Yeah, that's my first cousin.
Okay.
That's my first cousin. Right. I could tell you one quick story about that. When we were real young, this was before she. I think she might have been 13. I was 10, and her brother, her eldest brother, we were all in my basement. We set up a little stage, and she was center attraction, so she took the middle, the middle part of the stage, which was just a bunch of cushions put together. We sat on little platforms, and I forget the song that we were singing, but she was out there singing the song. She was about 13 years old. She was singing the song, and her brother and I were her background vocalists.
Okay.
I guess you could say that might have been like Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Did you use pyro then?
No, I didn't use pyro. Then. It was only 10, Carl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Forgive me for asking. All right.
It's okay. It was coming though. Yeah.
So what happened when y'all did the performance? That was
it was that we did that 3 or 4 times. I mean, as cousins, they would come over and we would have Thanksgiving together, and that's when we would be goofing around and all that,
Right.
But yeah. Next thing I knew, she was the star of her high school Broadway play.
Nice.
High school play, not Broadway, but she played the lead character in Oklahoma, and she stunned the entire audience. I mean, it was a play done in high school that was at the level of being on Broadway.
Wow.
I mean, they really went in on this on the stage performance, and she was the lead character. Next thing I know, she's in Dreamgirls.
That's funny. I auditioned for a part in Oklahoma in college, and I had 0 interest. And a friend of mine we were in the same college. Excuse me. And because she knew I sang in high school and sang in the community in some of the churches that we attended. She's like, "Come on, Charles, you can do it. They just need somebody else, and this may be the last day for audition." So I auditioned just on a whim, and I landed a role. But I never went back to do the play, man. It was Oklahoma too. No, it was Annie Get Your Gun. Annie Get Your Gun. Well, that was Oklahoma, right? Is that the same?
I was young then when she did that performance. I don't even think I was interested in going to it, but Mom dragged me off to it, and then I was quite impressed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So you alluded to that you're currently working on some new creative ventures. Can you share like what area of interest it's in or what area of focus it's in?
Well, in the last 5 years, I started back up into music. Once I retired, I needed something to do. Had a friend of mine that was downgrading her studio, and we sat down for dinner one day, and she said, "I got all this stuff, and I don't know what to do with it. And back in the day, we used to do music together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a portion of my studio. I'm going to give you a keyboard. I'm going to give you the program, and I'm going to give you the equipment to write music." And she gave it to me. And a year later, I was cranking out a few songs. And it took me a couple of years to get back into the swing of things and to write for today's music, because back in the day I was doing more mid-condition style music, and then I released my first EP in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, I released my first EP 2019.
Music and vocals, or just music?
Music and vocals, complete.
Nice.
Complete package. I work with a very talented lyricist out of Atlanta, Jessica Nicole. Very, very talented, great voice, and she loved the music. And she wrote to it, and have a whole catalog of different types of songs. But and from that catalog, you pick your favorites to release, and that's what I've done. The problem is that and Carl will tell you that I had a problem finding a female vocalist to sing the songs, because she demoed the tracks. It's not that she wanted to be in the front of the package.
Right.
and I couldn't find the female vocalist I was looking for. Carl always says, "You're looking for a stripper that can sing," and I would say, "Maybe,
No,
you
you don't
know."
say no maybe. Don't lie. You just say, yeah, I do. I am. That's what you say. No maybe.
But you know, even with it's funny. I have a very good friend. We haven't spoken like we used to back in the day, but to me, he can sing me under the table. I like the texture of his voice. I like the cadence, and he had no interest in music, and I just never could understand that. One time, I got him to commit to doing a show with me. He and my best friend, they both have my best friend and my good hangout buddy, and we're all into music. We can all sing. I got them both to agree to do the show with me. I was like, oh my God, what best thing in the world. We committed, we started rehearsals, and somebody canceled the show.
Wow.
And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I didn't at that time, it was a song that I just want to hang around you. George Benson. Every day and night. Remember that? All around my life. Something. I don't know all the words now, but it was really big in the late 80s, I think it was, early 90s, whatever. And it was like, man, we were going to come out as the guys in ties. We were always going to wear these skinny ties and, do our stuff. And the promoters or whoever it was, they pulled the plug. And I was like, damn, first opportunity to get this guy to come on and do something mainstream. And
Well, that might have been the catalyst, because now you can't get them to stop performing.
Well, you know how it goes. I got the bug, man. I don't know. I'm just a sucker for music. I can't help myself. So it's
Yeah.
Slave. Like, what did Grace Jones say? Slave to the rhythm. Slave to the rhythm. Got my
There
membership.
you go. There you go. There you go.
So what are the songs that you release, or what is the artist's name of the stuff that's released on the EP?
Shia Moore. I wish there was a way that I could bring up a picture of her. But yeah, it's Shia Moore, CHIAMOUR, Shia Moore. And she's AI generated. So if I couldn't find the artist that I was looking for, I had to create it. And it was only up until now where technology has allowed me to do a music video. Because the type of music video that I wanted to produce at any point in my life would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now you can actually produce a music video, create a character, all with AI. And that's what I've done.
Really?
Yeah.
So is it
It's
out?
quite interesting. I'm still working on it. I still, every now and then I send a clip to Carl and ask him to critique it, and I'm surprised he don't critique it that much. He just says it's good, and that's not what I look for from Carl.
I'm trying to stay friends with you.
No, man. That's not what I'm looking for. When I send stuff to Carl, I want him to go at it with a cleaver. Tell me what it is that I'm doing wrong.
They say that, right, until you whip out the cleaver.
Yeah. I can say there was sometimes he was a little tough on me. Yeah. But I mean, with that,
you're in the membership. He's been tough on me too, man. Trust me, I let him hear some stuff. He was like, he gave me his opinion, and I just didn't say nothing. He locked me down.
Oh man,
it wasn't that bad. No, it wasn't that bad.
No. It's never that bad. He could temper his sword, as they say, But you get the gist that, okay, I got to go back to the drawing board. But on this one, he was quite surprised that, that I was able to pull something like this off. Carl, you can't bring any of those videos up.
Actually, that would be Sir Charles. If Sir Charles can do it.
Where is it located?
YouTube.
Oh, wait a minute. You have to send him the link because it's still on private.
Oh, okay.
The link to
the YouTube video.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I could share screen, it says.
Okay, let's see.
Can you make it unprivate for a few minutes and see if I share screen?
Let's see. I think I can.
I was
called. Yeah, you can put the link in. If you put the link up, it'll. Yeah.
Well, I just got to take it off of private.
Right. Folks, once again, if you're just joining us, this is the TRU-MU podcast. We're talking to George O'Neill, creator, producer, very diverse background in the creative arts. And, we're just really going in, learning about his experience with music. And now we're talking about how AI has been supplemental to his creative abilities. And there's always something to learn. The answers are always somewhere. We're going to get an opportunity. We might get an opportunity to share some of that with you this evening.
Let's see. How do I connect?
I share screen. See, screen sharing is easiest with two
private chat. Okay, here you go. See if you could do that one.
Okay, let's see how to see private chat. Okay, let's see. You can click on it. Let's see if I could. Okay, I see her. Let me see if I could go back to.
Trying to see which one I should give you, because it's still a work in progress. Just trying to figure out which one.
Well, but the Shia Moore release is on YouTube, right?
Here you go.
Oh, okay, you got it. This is all AI generated.
Nice.
Even though I know I didn't forgive you, when I look back, you never cared about what I was into. I was cop an attitude when you said that I miss you. Cause every time I checked your phone, you'd always be an issue. Just keep it real, I need your loyalty. Just keep it honest, cause I can't deal with no more niggas that can keep it silent. 10 times down to the ground if you really rockin'. Why every time I fall in love, you don't show me no love. I hate that you never ever show up. I feel like I'm really close to give up on us.
Okay, so question.
Sure.
Yeah, question. So how long have you been working on this project?
January 1st.
Okay, New Year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, New Year.
Seems like I always seem to start a new project in January. Something about January that I have to set myself up with what I'm going to do for the entire year. Mm-hmm. What projects I'm going to do, what am I going to put my foot into.
Well, let me just say that, man, that was hot. That was good. I thought that was very well done. I'm like, as I'm watching it, my brain is like, whoa, maybe I should redirect some of my music videos into AI.
You can. You're gonna have to really sit down and figure out how the tools actually work, because there's a lot of different ways to go about doing it.
Thanks, Allison. Allison says hot, 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 hot. That's what's up, man.
Wow. Thank you.
You're on the right path, man.
Thank you.
Oh, Ali G, what's going on, girl? All right.
That's
So
all
yeah.
right. So now, are you going to do an EP in this arena as well, or is this a new project? I mean, I know it's a new project, but is there EP expected for this project?
Well, the EP is already out.
Okay.
That was released in 2019, and it was only up until now where I could actually do a video.
Okay. Well,
So
sounds
now I'm taking the best songs from that EP and creating a video.
there you
So
go.
this is one of 4 that I've already created.
Nice. Well done, man. Well done.
Thank you.
Well,
Now,
Wait.
have you had a chance to have your EP performed live?
No. It's still I'm still working out the bugs. There are a few bugs that are in it, and once I get that straight, then I'm going to go for the full release. I'm
What
actually creating an entire world around this particular character, from the point of where she actually does a promo. She does a Tonight Show interview. She has done a few television news reports showcasing the release of the song. I'm creating a whole world around this particular character. And then as I move forward into the rest of the year, I may even do a movie, an AI movie with her as the featured.
So what was the project that you had at the Dole Center when you had your favorite musicians?
That was the first project. That was me coming out of the box with my first couple of songs. And since then, I created a whole new EP. That was, I guess you could say, that was the first EP, and this would be the second.
Right. Okay. All right. I just wanted to get that one in there because I know I heard some other stuff that I was on that you had.
You're on everything. What are you talking about? You're on everything. I got to give you credit on every single thing, even down to this new AI video.
That's the way you do it. See, and you know what y'all just shared, literally what you just shared is so important for folks that are in the entertainment, music, film industry. When you're working with someone, the integrity of knowing that the person that's working with you is going to give you the credit. They're not trying to take from you, but they're adding to you, or you're sharing with one another. The collaboration and the trust is so internally important in the whole process, because I know part of my problem, I just put out a newsletter today talking about having balance and the fact that I've been a solopreneur because people are not reliable. So when you have trust, it makes the reliability factor more sound. It allows you to really flourish in your talent because you don't have to worry about all the other nuances of negativity. And you know that this guy's got my back. He's going to tell me the truth. If he likes it, he doesn't like it. If it's something
Exactly.
I could or should do. And that's just really important. I don't know if it's a young person thing, older person thing, or a good guy, bad guy thing, but
it is an old person thing, because today's musicians, today's music industry is quite different.
Whatever. Carl talking about he's 21. He don't know what we talking about.
I don't know. Old person. I don't know nothing about that.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, say that again, George. Say that again, please. Say what you said again.
Yeah. Today's artist doesn't know what it takes to really make something pop. They think it needs to be given to them. There's no work involved. You want me as an artist, I shouldn't have to work for it. You got to give it to me. And that's not how it should be done. You got to put the work in. Nobody should be putting or making you create something. It has to be a natural thing. It's got to come from the soul. And when it comes from that place of creativity, there's nothing that you can't do.
Yeah. Well, sweat equity, no matter what industry or profession, sweat equity is necessary. And you
Right.
got to earn your bones no matter what it is. A lot of people, the one simple thing for me, I'm early to everything I do. Whether I'm a guest, whether it's my event, I'm always early because to me, that's an old school principle of being professional. You don't show
Exactly.
up just on time. You don't show up 5 minutes early. And even if it's something I don't like
or late.
Yeah, I mean, I have shown up an hour early for things. I show up normally 30 minutes to 15 minutes early for anything I'm doing because it matters that that you're dealing with a professional.
Right. Right.
Just, I look, even when I got to travel, I may even pack my bags days ahead of time. And I had one of my friends like, "Oh, you one of them kind?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's how I get down."
That's right. That's right. That's right.
My bags will be packed days ahead of time before the flight. I'll close the suitcase so my suits or my jackets don't get messed up too much. I'll put them in plastic so reduce the wrinkle effect. But I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Yeah. I quick story. When we did the Dole Center show, we told everybody, listen, we got sound check at 12 sharp. Be there. Even if your sound check isn't until 2-3 o'clock, you need to be there at 12. I had one of the musicians in my group didn't show up until 4 o'clock, and I lost it.
Wow.
Yeah,
I lost it. Because we couldn't do our sound check without him. And he felt it.
Did you let him perform?
All right, the show must go on.
Yeah.
But it kind of messed up my vibe for the rest of the show. Where it could have been a real happy, joyous occasion. You had one person that just wanted to roll on his own time.
Yeah.
But he'll never do that again with me.
There's always a diva in every situation.
Yeah.
I tell you. Dave says, passion is greater than motivation. 100, no doubt.
That's right.
Thanks, Dave.
That's right.
Thanks for your comments. Man, well, listen, man. So you had anything coming up that you have a date on that you would like to announce or let us look forward to seeing?
I think by May 9th, I should be ready to release the first video. And then maybe every 2 weeks after that, I'll introduce another one of the 4 that I mentioned. And later on in the year, depending on how everything goes, I'll start working on a movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great.
AI movie, yeah.
Well, we'd love to have you back, man. Hopefully, if you're available, we'd love to have you back so you can debut or promote the new works that you have coming up. But in the meantime, we've got one thing we'd like to share. Let me see if I can find it. I just say take a pause for the cause, pause for the cause. I think that's how they talk about it. On March 21st of this year, we've got an event coming up at the MPK Cabaret. It's called the True Lovers Tour Showcase, and you got to be there, folks. Check this out.
Truality Enterprises presents the show of all shows. We're going to do it one more time. MPK Cabaret, 5050 Beach Place. Be there or you will miss Sir Charles Carey.
See that love is blind.
The Smooth One, Carl T. Smith.
Your lips.
Soul City Collective, John R. Lewis, Tawanda Prince, and DC's own Smoke D for the True Lovers Tour. MPK Cabaret, 5050 Beach Place. Be there or you will miss all the love to go around.
So March 21st, folks, make sure you're there. Get your tickets. Those who get their tickets, Sign up for the newsletter. You get a free download and whatever we have to give away when you get there at the show. From 6 to 10 p.m., that's 5050 Beach Place, Temple Hills, Maryland. We'd love to see your face in the place because we are going all in. All right. Carl, what you got going on, man? I know you're on the road, man. You still won't let me even be a valet. I want to just carry your bags, man. Come on, man. Help a brother out, man.
Ain't nothing in the bag to carry. So you know,
okay. You may get something coming back home.
No. Got enough stuff.
What's up next for you, Carl?
Thursday, I'm heading out to San Diego to perform with Leon and the Peoples. And then, on the 21st, I'll be in, Temple Hill. And then got a couple of things in New York again, a couple of things. And then, May 24th, of course, we're going to be at the Rafael Hernandez Auditorium.
Jay Zingham said, Yamo be there. Yamo be there.
Yamo be there.
Yamo be there.
Yeah. So, got quite a few things coming up.
Okay. All right. Well, once again, I want to thank our guest George O'Neill Ralph for coming on and sharing his interest, his talent, his creativity. Man, I thought I was creative, man. I see. I got more schooling to do. I got more learning.
You got it. It's in there.
It's definitely in there. But now I got to sit quiet so I can pull it out, nurture.
Exactly. Exactly. Sit in the dark room and just meditate and see where you're going to go.
That part. Yes, indeed. Folks, if you got any comments, once again, please feel free to, post your comments, whether you put replay or not. Feel free to post your comments, post your questions, and we'll see you on the next time round, folks. Hey, this is Sir Charles Carey. I want you to join me on Tuesdays at